Welcome, folks, to Unicorn Light Tarot. Today we are going to be reaching out to our spirit guides and seeing who they are and what messages and guidance they have for us today. So I set up this session before we even started with the Reiki Master symbol and the long distance symbol. So I'm going to infuse a little bit of Reiki into this session because why not? So I'm going to use one of my favorite symbols. It's out of the Karuna Reiki. It's the hearth symbol. It's a really beautiful, peaceful symbol that brings about the energy of our spirit guides and encourages them to come in with messages and surround us with light. And it sort of bridges the gap between our world and their world. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Chakray. We are also going to add the power symbol there. So we are starting off with some Reiki. So go ahead if you feel like it. Take a deep breath and just relax and ground into your feet, into your soul, and into the earth. And let's just take a moment. I can already feel the guides around us, so it's going to be a good session. So today we do have 3 piles. I thought I would do things a little bit differently. I like to change things up and actually shuffle each of the decks and see if the energy is a little bit different that way. I kind of like it rather than having them shuffled beforehand and ready to go, all precise. So we will have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. And we have our runes today for our pile markers. So let's go ahead and set up for all you pile oneers out there. So the first deck that caught my eye today that I thought that we could use, that would be wonderful, is the Fairy Tarot and Oracle deck. So as we're doing this, I do want you to take your time and see which rune. This is for pile 1. Trying to see if you can see them clearly. Pile 2. I also want to apologize for my nails. I do not own nail varnish remover. Note to self, buy some. So I try to use holistic stuff in the house, but nothing took it off. So choose this. These are calling to me. And these. Oh, here we go. Got one. I like to use cards that jump out. Sometimes I don't, and sometimes I test, put them back into the pack, and 9 times out of 10 they do come right back out, so they were supposed to be chosen, but sometimes I like to test. And of course our dragon deck, oracle deck, for those of you who have fire spiritual beings around you, either dragons or certain fairies are associated with the element of fire. So we'll use one of those. And this one's calling to me. And this one. And this one. So we're going to go ahead and do this for each pile. So this is going to be for pile 1. This is your pile 1. But if you do need to take your time and pause the video at any time to figure out which pile or which rune is calling your name. Excuse me, I just got over a cold. And then go ahead and do that. Of course, take your time. It's really important that you listen to your intuition. And then what you can do is look at the timestamps down below, and you can go right into your reading without wasting any time. So this is going to be for pile 1. I'm going to put these runes to the side. So for those of you who chose pile 1, you chose this rune, which is the rune of communication. It's also indicative of a journey, usually a spiritual journey, but it can be a physical journey. In many ways, I feel like a spiritual journey is a physical journey because it takes us through so many emotions of releasing and so forth. It's also indicative of an agreement with yourself, an agreement with your spirituality and your path, usually with lower and higher energies. So an agreement with self-fulfillment, self-love, all good things. So this is for those, pile 1. I'm going to put this rune right here. So I'm going to take a moment and remind ourselves that we are looking for guidance and healing, any kind of messages from our spirit guides for pile 1. Let's see what messages we have for you today. So, Princess of Summer. Okay, so Cups, another Cups card, 8 of Cups. Put that aside here. We have the Owl, Deception, Wisdom, a Waterfall, Effortless, Childhood and Innocence, Rose Pink Dragon, what a pretty card. Prepares your heart to connect with the higher facets of the cosmic heart. Open your heart to warm-hearted love and diamond light. Connect with the love of the universe. That's a beautiful card right there. We have the 9 of Swords. That is reversed. And we have the Moon reversed also. And finally, Ego here. The illusion of being trapped, placing too much importance on material items, getting caught up in fear or worry. So let's see if we have enough space here. We will go through them, and so you'll be able to see all of the cards. But apologize for the limited space. So again, messages from your spirit guides. So the first thing that I'm getting, the first image that I got is a dragonfly, actually. And dragonflies are beautiful. They are symbolic of profound transformation and moving into the light. So moving from one situation to another. And again, this could be figuratively or literally. So the first message that I'm getting is that I'm getting the vision of seeing yourself within a bubble, and a very specific kind of bubble, where all of your knowledge is within this bubble and everything that you need is within yourself, and to see yourself as a perfect wisdom. I feel like the first message that I'm getting is that it is wonderful to have a curious personality and to want to learn more. And who doesn't want to learn more? We are here to learn, and we certainly don't know it all. Nobody does. But this idea of achieving a certain amount of wisdom and knowledge and never being done is the way that you've worked in the past. And your guides are saying that it hasn't brought you as much joy as it could have. I'm getting this very profound and precise vision. Let's see if we can move these over. Of you poring over school books and almost seeing life as being at school, and you move from one grade to the next and you're looking for to get that A, and if you get a B, you're really hard on yourself. It's almost like we said, you are being graded, and it's chiseled away at your joy a little bit. Again, it's really good to have a curious nature, and I feel for a lot of you, again, this is a general reading, so please take what resonates and just leave behind what doesn't. It's wonderful to be in a situation where you are constantly learning and pulling in new information and changing and shifting your perspective. All of that is absolutely wonderful. And I think with the rune that you chose earlier too, Pile Oneers, it's indicative of this new journey. And I think your new journey, from what I can gather from your guides, is a shift in perspective. So childhood innocence, going back to seeing everything from with a filter of childhood, of the innocence of childhood. I feel like some of you may have had instances where you were very grown up when you were children, and maybe you didn't get the space to be the complete child that you could have been, and you can see this part of your life as a way to reconnect with that childhood and really sort of go for it, see everything with a childhood innocence. And because I feel like some of you have a sort of a very practical nature, which this comes up a lot, I feel, in readings, and I do want to be clear, being practical is wonderful, and I think practicality is something that we can certainly integrate wholly into our lives. But I think for you, you've taken it to another level, I've been told. And again, it's chiseled away at your joy a little bit. So the way in which you might want to help yourself shift your perspective is to see it as a game, again, which is childhood, and to try on the perspective and almost see it from a sort of scientific viewpoint. What if I did see myself, if you sit down and say, what if I did see myself as a child? What if I did try on this mask and see where it goes, this childhood innocent mask, and just try it out for an hour, then try it out for a day, and see it as something, as an experiment. And writing all of this down in your journal, what transpires afterwards, could be really, really wonderful. We're all trying to transcend our ego. Well, not all of us at all, but I'm hoping those who seek out a video like this is at least understanding that if we come from our ego, it's limited at best. So I feel like the practicality or the ego part of yourself, which I'm being told has protected you for a good part of your life, which is absolutely wonderful. And the ego does that. And it's difficult to integrate the ego or to work beyond the ego after the ego has helped us for so long, because we feel like we're betraying the ego, or the ego tells us that don't betray me. I've been here with you for so long. Please don't do that. But actually, your guides are saying that working from beyond the ego now is something that you're ready for, and it will no longer suit you. You are definitely ready to trust yourself and to move forward. I feel like you are definitely hard on yourself, and I feel like you test life a little bit. So, and you do that, I'm getting this vision of standing sort of on the sidelines and testing life and saying, well, I've asked for this and it didn't happen, and now why am I supposed to trust you? And your guides are saying, you haven't given us the space in the room to help you as much as we could. We have heard you, we've always heard you, and we're around you, but you are blocking our help. So Part of the way that you can unblock is to release your past. So we're just going to send out a little energy for that. And I'm just trying to think what symbol. I'm going to use the Rama symbol here for you guys. I'm feeling that's going to connect. I always use the power symbol too afterwards. I'm feeling like that's going to connect, again, apologies for the nails, your higher and lower self, which I think sometimes can be out of link and out of sorts and maybe not linked up or integrated as much as it could be. I feel like I keep seeing a seesaw that you go from the practical to the very spiritual very, very quickly. What we're looking for, what your guides want you to do, is to trust the middle. You're very good at shadow work. You're very good at intense spirituality. You're very good at immense sort of earthy, practical, scientific mind. They want you to go right in the middle and allow them to help you. So heart opening is something that you've been working on too. But I feel like also you have been working on the heart opening, excuse me, trying to do it from the ego also. So I feel like you have a lot of powerful spiritual guides. And because pile oneers, they've been blocked a little bit, I'm trying to get the energy. I definitely get fairy energy around you. And again, there's a lot of animal energy around you. For some of you, I'm seeing spiders and spider webs. Amazing spider energy. And for those of you who have spider energy, when you're not paying attention to your guides, and you're not living up to your full potential, you might even get a spider bite. Pretty much all spiders, I think, to a certain extent, are poisonous per se. But so you might have had a little bit of a reaction, but they're not going to hurt you for the most part. So I don't think you've gotten hurt from this, and this would just be some of you. But I do feel as though the spider energy, you might have had that energy in your life before. So, but I do feel like the heart opening. So we have several different things that's all sort of coming in now. Integrate lower and higher, practical and spiritual side. Open up your heart. Release the past. Release the ego. And the way to do that is to open up your heart fully. Trust in oneself that all of the wisdom that you have is within this bubble and it's all yours for the taking, not looking for the external. So again, you're the sort of person that constantly is inquisitive and curious and looking for the next thing to learn about. And again, this is a beautiful way to be, and your spirit guides want you to stay there and be like that. But it's almost the way that you've done it in the past. It's almost as if you are doing it in order to get somewhere and to achieve something, almost like it's coming from a place of lack, like you're not good enough. If I learn this and I have this knowledge, then I'll be able to do this, then that, and I'll feel more comfortable or confident. And they're asking you to keep your curious nature, but come in from a different point of view. Come in from the idea that new knowledge is excellent and new perspective is everything. But there's no extra knowledge that you need to achieve to justify where you are in the world, to justify what it is that you want to do. So again, down to this childlike innocence of shifting your perspective. And if you need to do it as, again, sorry, if you need to do it again as an experiment, then go ahead and do that. That would be wonderful for you. And go ahead and put down all of what it is that you have come up with, like your totals, your whatever it is. I keep seeing that the scientific thing, your mind is very scientific at times. your findings is the word that I'm getting. Write down your findings. Trust in your own understanding and leave behind the illusions of who you once were is another thing that I'm getting. So really your messages are quite profound. I feel like you're on the verge of something absolutely beautiful and completely different, seeing things in a completely different way. And I think your guides have listened to you. You've definitely wanted something completely different. And again, this is your journey, your beautiful journey here. You've wanted a new journey. You've wanted to see things differently. I feel like I keep seeing the end of the road. You've gone as far as you can with the viewpoint that you have. Again, it's brought you wisdom, but it's brought you wisdom on doing it by certain rules. And I do believe that your main message here from your guides is please don't play by the rules anymore. The beauty of who you are is that you can be unconventional in this lifetime. And it's really important that you embrace every aspect of yourself and stop trying to create a new persona beyond who you really are. You don't need to try to become anything more than you are. You're already brilliant and have perfect. You're divine and perfect, but you have all of the wisdom that you need already to achieve what it is that you want, and effortlessly. So open yourself up to, again, healing the heart. We've gone ahead and we're going to send some more energy Reiki too for healing the heart, opening up the heart. So when you do ask for help, and I do see you asking for help, you can actually hear what they're saying and feel the tangible results much quicker instead of asking for help and then blocking the energy that's coming in. So be kind to yourself and understand, come from a place of gratitude. I feel like you do come from a place of gratitude, but sometimes when you have that negative energy around you where you're so hard on yourself, you tend to forget how wonderful you are and how grateful you can be with everything that's been in your life. I feel like some of you have had quite a tough life, but in many ways you've been able to ask for what you want and you've always landed on your feet. I do feel like you're the sort of person that's always landed on their feet, and sometimes help has come out of nowhere and you've experienced that in your life. So it's wonderful to go back there and remember those times. You're always going to be okay. So open yourself up to new invitations, new ways of being. Remember to have that filter of the childlike energy and really let the childlike energy dictate where you are and what you do, and have that new filter all the way through your life. That will be the best thing for you. I'm trying to see if there's any other messages for you, Pile 1. And for some reason, the image of a caterpillar. So obviously you are definitely you're doing this 180. You are moving into this transformational aspect of self where you're going into some sort of, I think you're coming out of the other end of hibernation and turning into that butterfly. So the last message from your spirit guides is, sometimes there's that term dark night of the soul. Everybody's path is a little bit different, but I do feel like sometimes it does feel like it gets a little harder just before you transform into that butterfly. So they're saying hang in there and work on opening your heart so you can at least listen to your spirit guides. You are never alone. They're grounding you. I can feel like a lot of you out there are not grounded. So please work on your breathing. It's very usual in this time of life, the world that we live in, to take shallow breaths and not pay attention to our breathing until we actually physically pay attention to it. So really ground yourself, like take in deep breaths, hold it in, and then release. And do this a couple times and it will really clear your mind and clear your mind of negativity too. And the last message that I'm getting is to remember that the negative thoughts that are coming in are from your past. They want you to remain in the present. There is so much that can happen if we remain in the present. You cannot possibly change your future. This is a message from your guide. You cannot possibly change your future if you are thinking and bringing in the energy of your past. So if you're bringing in negativity from your past, that means you're still living in the past. What they want you to do is stay in the present moment. The present moment is, without a doubt, brand new, and you can create new futures from a present and neutral standpoint. So that's what they want you to concentrate on. So pile oneers, I really hope that resonated with you. If it did, go ahead and drink lots of water too, because we sent you some Reiki. I hope you felt it. Look after yourself tonight. Leave some messages in the comments down below if you feel inclined to. And please check out the description box with all the details on how to book a session, and following me on Instagram if you are so inclined. I do a Witchy Wednesday on my Instagram, so if you're looking for a little bit more guidance, I can provide that for you, and I would be absolutely honored to have you with us in our tight little wonderful beautiful group with lots of great energy. So if you're looking for some extra support, you'll find it below. All right, pile oneers, go give yourself a big hug because you're amazing. So we're gonna do that. Okay, pile two, this is your rune stone. So I'm going to go ahead and pick your cards. So, well, the spirit guides are going to pick your cards. This is, I think you can see it there. So if you picked this rune, pile twoers, you are coming into a neutral space where you can just relax, find your new path, and breathe into a new beginning. It's really important for you to think neutral and to release all that no longer serves you. It is also a time, in order to release, to go deep into the shadow self. I think most of you have already done that. So I'm feeling like it's more for you guys to go ahead and release the shadow work that you've previously done. So that's your rune stone, and that's the energy of this reading. To release, think neutral, allow yourself that neutral space to move forward. So I'm already sensing a brand new beginning. I'm feeling two of these today. Feeling a lot of dragon energy with you, pile twoers here. Let's put these a little bit more in there. You could be fire signs, but you know, our astrology chart is an amalgam of absolutely everything. And a lot of people go on about the sun sign a lot, which of course is important. It is your ego, but your rising sign is very much how you get there in your outer personality. I think that's very important. Your moon, of course, is your emotionality. That's very important. Your Venus is very important, especially in love relationships. So you may have a lot of fire in your life. You might be surrounded by fire signs. You might be a fire sign. Could be a fire moon sign. I do see a lot of fires. I'm going to put two here. That's what I'm feeling. And so as a reminder, as we're shuffling and getting ready, we are going to, I'm not the greatest shuffler in the world, especially with these big cards. Definitely could not be in Vegas. So we are asking for your spirit guides to come in and give us an idea of who they are, at least some of them, and a message for you that would be significant and resonate with you at this time. So our spiritual beings here. So I'm definitely getting a Mother Mary vibe with pile 1, I got more of a sort of nymph, elf, fairy, animal totems here, but I feel Mother Mary coming in, a lot of feminine energy here, which I think is beautiful. All right. So again, messages for you. Partnership. Wonderful. Okay, the world. Look at you go. Pile 2. Okay, 2 of Cups upside down. Okay, the Empress upside down. Okay. So, Swords, red, black, and gold dragon protects you in times of change. A time of rapid transformation and transition. Relax, you are safe. Okay. So we have brings universal knowledge to your spiritual pathway. Learn about spiritual technology. Be a transmitter of the sacred knowledge. Completion and cave. So this was reversed. So there's a few different things going on. So the first message I'm getting, I feel like for pile 2, and again, remember this is a general reading. If it resonates, wonderful. If it doesn't, let it go. Just release it. So I feel like you guys are on a very specific spiritual journey. I don't know if it's specific is the right word. To integrate the masculine and feminine to become whole. And also I feel like a lot of you are light workers. I feel like a lot of you have been working on your own terms, I'm being told, outside of the social sphere, or doing it, you know, sort of in a small way. And you are aware that you've been called to open up that audience and go out there and bring in that spiritual knowledge. So this is that card here. I think I'm also feeling one of the main messages that I'm getting from your spirit guides, and again, it's this feminine energy. I also feel Lilith and Hecate too, some very, very powerful spiritual guides around you. I feel like a lot of you might be either nature worshippers or open to working with nature and herbs. And one of the biggest things that you're here to do in this lifetime, beyond being a light worker and to bring light and truth into this world, which for those of you who picked pile 2 and have picked the rune where you're in this neutral space, is that you are obviously about to take off, but in a very specific way. So I feel like you've gone through this cocoon stage, and you have been working specifically on partnerships, definitely within yourself, but with others also. Learning how to accept yourself so you no longer have to be validated from the external world. And I feel like in a physical way, also in a literal way, the 2 of Cups upside down, or reversed I should say, is that you seem to have had this winding road. I'm getting told about romantic relationships too. I feel like there's been a lot of karma, and again, the word karma brings up so many different things for people, but it's that I feel like you've had a lot of people in and around your life that you've been romantic with, and they've been attached to certain aspects of karma. And some of that has been wonderful, and you've taken those wonderful energies, but some of them may have left you abruptly, be it leaving the world or just leaving you. But I feel like there may have been some painful ends, or there may have been some pain integrated into your physical relationships or actual relationships with romantic relationships in your life. And that has left a little bit of a toll, a little bit of a scar. And what it's really chipped away at is your self-confidence and your understanding of real beauty of who you are. I feel like in some regards, you may have been with people before who didn't quite see you. And there's a reason why I'm being told that happened, is that you didn't fully accept yourself. But I don't want to harp on this because I'm being told that that was in your past and you're well aware of that. But your guides are telling you that it's time to, you've come out of this now. You're in full completion. You're full moon. You're taking the beauty of who you actually are and who you are attracting, and the energy that you're attracting is absolutely brand new. For the first time, I believe you are tapping into your power and really understanding that you can have everything that you desire, that you've asked for. You can have the life that you truly and honestly deserve. And now that you understand, that you deserve it, it will be easy for you to find yourself within it. So the rune here is definitely this neutral space that you have. I also feel like it's also letting you know that this neutral space you're about to leave behind. So we have the cave. I don't usually do this. I usually turn them when I use this oracle card. But I got the message that it was really important for me to keep this reversed because it's saying that you no longer need to stay in your cave. You no longer need to hide your light or shine it in very specific circumstances where you feel safe. You are now ready to take all of your wisdom, and again we have this here, to take all of your wisdom and shine it completely into the world. Again, on your own terms. There's this new strength, this new shadow self. Again, the neutral has come from delving into the shadow self. You've done this work. You are ready. This is a really beautiful, beautiful place for you to be. You're about to take off. Normally I see, what they're showing me is, normally I see people on the edge of the cliff and they're sort of a little bit nervous to step forward and then jump over. But you're completely different. You're actually, what they're showing me is that you're ready to rise and rise into the universe. So there's no fear about moving forward. You are totally ready to take on the world. And again, here, world here, brilliant success. The freedom to go in any direction. A journey that is now complete. Hello, full moon. The beauty is, though, you know what direction you want, actually. You've always known. I feel like something has just shifted with your partnerships too, as we've mentioned. I think you've let go of a lot of that pain. And more importantly, you've healed your heart from some of the things that were said to you in relationships or the way that you've been treated. And again, this would be sort of romantic relationships, but it sort of hinders on other relationships too. And I feel like you guys are definitely empaths, so you may have imprinted on certain beings in this lifetime, and we're definitely, I would say, let down also. I think that you looked for help outside of yourself, I'm being told, and then when they couldn't deliver, you were very, very disappointed, but you've cleared out that disappointment. And your guides want to let you know that they were always here. They were always there to protect you. They never really let you fall. I'm being shown that you're on the ocean, and even though you feel like you're sinking, they have this sort of floaty device that's coming up and it's inflating around you and you're floating on the ocean. But you are ready to absolutely take off. Like I said, you're not on the edge of the cliff. There's no nervousness. You're ready to take off. And I feel like this rune pile tours is definitely, like I said, it's the middle ground that you had, the protection of the cave. You're now moving out. This is a very exciting time for you. I did get this one, excuse me, I did get this one image of, I don't know if some of you are writing a book, haven't finished it, haven't published it, or are planning to write it, or have thought about writing it. But for those of you, and it would be a book that's, I don't really see it as a fictional book. I do see it as a book that would help others. And I'm being told it will help others. Now, of course, that could be a fictional book in many ways if you write fiction. I mean, well-written fiction can change a life. It can change your perspective. Stays with you. So, of course, that can change anybody's life. But I feel like it's nonfiction. And I feel like it's spiritual in nature. But it's your divine knowledge. Putting it out there. I feel like maybe before you would have thought to yourself, well, I don't know enough, or should I really do this, or that information, I'm being told specifically, that information's already out there, we don't need it anymore. No, your own spin on this is going to be amazing. And for those of you who are thinking about it, definitely put yourself out there. Again, for some of you, I feel like, and again, this is a general reading, and I don't want to give you ideas. You already have your own ideas, but go ahead and do this on your own way. A little YouTube channel, guiding people down the path, a spiritual path, any way that you want to do it. Investing your time into doing that. This is going to be the way to move forward. So I do, you think, I'm going to also, I'm going to do the hearth. Symbol for you too. For cleansing, moving you on, and the power symbol here, just to support you in your new endeavor. So we're going to send you that calming energy, so hopefully you feel it. So just like pile 1, pile 2 is I want you to start breathing deeply. I feel like some of you are really great breathers when you put your full attention onto it, but otherwise you could be shallow breathers and just bring yourself into the present moment. So we're going to be sending that energy to you. So brilliant success on its way. You are absolutely ready. This is just really, this message is confirmation that you're moving. You already know that you're moving from this neutral space into this brand new beginning. And in many ways, it's not really a beginning. It's somewhere that you've been before in past lives, and you're just ready to get back out there. I feel like a good portion of what you've been going through, particularly in the last couple of years, I'm seeing 6 months to 3 years, depending on who you are. Different people have different life cycles, but I feel like you have been going into that shadow self and really releasing all of that old karma, and all of, again, the integration of the male and female within oneself, within yourself, the partnership of self, but also the physical partnership, really, really healing, absolutely healing the energy of relationships that you've had. And again, we had the fire energy at the beginning. Allow yourself to get angry and release. I feel like there were times that you weren't treated that well, and mainly that you weren't seen for who you were. And some of that could be you not seeing yourself and downplaying your beauty, your mysticism, and your power. So that's all transforming now. Again, 180. You are integrating all of that stuff, all of that, and your guardian angels and your spirit guides. You had a lot of feminine energy come in. Jesus is just actually come in at the end, but he's very much on the sideline. So your energy pile 2 is very feminine. Mother Mary, Queen of Angels, was the first that came in, but we did have Lilith and we had Hecate too. Very, very powerful symbols and archetypes of transformation and real power, and doing things on your own terms, and not worrying about what the world thinks of you. So I think that's incredible. That's the spirit energy that's around you, pile 2. So you cannot go wrong with that, in my opinion. Especially with Lilith and Hecate. They are powerful forces. So pile 2, I'm very excited for your spiritual journey and where you're about to go. So if any of that resonated, please let me know in the comments below. Also in the description below, there are lots of ways that you can follow me on Instagram if you want a little bit more support in your magical life. We do Witchy Wednesdays, and we do that obviously every Wednesday. And it's a channeled messages for everyone, little extra support. And you can also book a reading with me if you want a private one-on-one. I also do healing packages and sessions, which are very exciting. So I want to thank you, pile 2, for being the amazing person that you are. Go ahead and breathe deeply and hug yourself for being the best person you could possibly be, and get excited about your future. So pile 3, last but not least, never least. So for your rune, we have this. I'm already getting messages before we even move forward. So this, if you picked this rune, you are working beyond your ego and really moving down that spiritual path. So I feel like a lot of you already know in many ways or have an idea of the sort of themes that will come up for you. I feel like you're already very much in touch. The one message that this rune does want to instill in us is that every path needs patience. You know, time is relative, it's also man-made. It's non-linear. So sitting there and going, I want this now, well, sure. And now could mean many things in different timelines. It means that you do have it. So it urges you to have a little bit more patience with yourself. And that comes down to trust also. But you are definitely on the right path. So I'm going to pick one of these. But you know what? I'm going to pick two of these. I'm feeling it. Those aside. And then for your fairy. So again, while we're shuffling, we're going to remind ourselves and take a deep breath here too so we can channel your spirit guides. We're looking for specific messages for you from your spirit guides. Excuse me. And energy from your spirit guides. See what kind of energy your spirit guides have. I'm going to do two of these too, and I'm feeling one of each of these. So that one popped out. And just like pile 2, I'm feeling definitely some fire energy and some water energy for you guys too. You might be water signs or have water in your chart, like an abundance of water in your chart. I feel like a lot of you find peace around water. It's definitely a cleansing aid in this world. All right, so let's see what messages we get for you, pile 3. Okay, so Dreamtime Creation, that is reversed. We're just going to put your runestone up there. Here, Omega Dragon. Harness the divine feminine power over creation. Oh, divine feminine power of creation, I'm sorry. Intention, hold your vision, birth the higher consciousness. Okay, Temperance. So again, patience with your rune too. 8 of Autumn. Okay, so it says do more research before proceeding. Education in the form of seminars, going back to school or apprenticeships, excellent craftsmanship and long-term projects. So Autumn here, this is the Queen of Autumn, and they are upright, so coins in the normal tarot. So the Horse, accepting help from others or another, delegating authority, and birth and rebirth. So there's a few different things. I'm getting a lot of creative messages around here. Around these parts. Around here, pile 3. So I feel like you are very, very creative people, but I feel like there's, the first message that I'm getting is, okay, so harnessing your creativity, which is what this card is saying, the dragon energy, using that fire energy to harness your creativity. The first thing I'm seeing is that a slight lack of self-confidence. So there's two different, and again, a general reading, please take what resonates and release what doesn't. So I'm getting two different sort of ways here. You either have a creation that you create from beginning to end and then you complete it, and then you don't believe in it enough to put it out there, or you start many different creative, this is for different people. Guides are showing me that you're either one of two. So for the second lot of you, you start many different projects and maybe don't finish them. You get sidetracked, or the energy behind it isn't kept up. So harnessing the divine feminine power of creation. So you're either one or the other. And I think some of you can sort of go in between both of these, have a little bit of aspect, the aspect of either one of those. But you are innately creative, incredibly so. But you may doubt that your creative projects are going to serve the world in the way that you think that they can. I think some of you, this also resonates with power oneers a little bit too. Excuse me. There's a wee bit there of overlapping, just a little bit. But there's some of you who believe that there needs to be more knowledge, and you get into this loophole of more knowledge. Your guides are telling you that you need more knowledge in order to be out there, finish this creation. Or if you do finish this creation, is it enough knowledge to put out there? Is it any different from anything else that is out there? I do feel as though you have harnessed your individuality. So you do feel like it is your point of view, and you understand that it is a little bit different from everything else that's out there. But maybe you don't think it's enough. So this understanding that you need to grab hold of more knowledge to incite your creativity and to set it on fire and put it out into the world, they're saying is not true. They really do want you to move away from this understanding of what you feel like you need to do. Again, having all your ducks in a row. They actually showed me ducks in a row, which is really funny. All your ducks in a row before you send out those creative projects. You do need patience and temperance. They're saying that for some of you, the projects that you have in mind, they always take a little bit longer than you think they're going to, but they have their own timeline, and you need to trust in that timeline. Sometimes a creative project is finished and it doesn't need to be worked on anymore, and it's completely done, but it won't take off in the universe until you're ready for it to take off. So there's many different elements. They're reminding you there's many different elements out there that need to come into play. Timing is absolutely perfect. Just because you finish something, the universe might want you to wait a little bit, because if you push and put it out when you think it should be, excuse me, then you're not understanding that there is divine timing. And if you just wait a little bit longer, then it will take off in a completely different way. They also want you to know, I'm getting very, very strong vibes here, and a very succinct and clear message that they are very much in tune with your creative projects and are taking them to the next level. They know exactly where you are with them, and they are carving out your path. So all of your creative projects have the most impact they possibly can. And for those of you who have asked if it is possible in this lifetime to take your creativity and to be able to make a successful living from it, your answer is absolutely, without a doubt, yes. I feel like some of you have asked this question. Is it possible? Your guides are saying absolutely yes. The one thing that I'm getting, and the horse, when I first saw this horse, the card that said the horse card, I didn't initially get this, but now that I'm in and around the energy of this card for me, I'm being told, is the energy of community too. Your creative projects, and I feel like a lot of you are great speakers and you work on your own. If you do work, within the idea of, or the understanding of the collective, but you speak from the wisdom from your own individual heart. But they're saying that true connection and being on your path and your real creativity that's about to be unleashed into this world is to do with your community too. So some of you, I feel like, have felt as though they've been held back a little bit because they haven't really been in and around their spiritual family. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean blood relations, or relationships or actual family members. It's the people that we've incarnated with us before. Some of you may be around some of them, and they should start coming in very, very quickly and very soon. So if they haven't started coming in, and again, time is relative, so I can't tell you. I keep getting 1 to 3 months, and for some of you 6 months. But for some of you, I feel like your soul family should be coming in and around you. I feel like you've had a lot of soul mates in and around you, both in actual relationships one-on-one, or relationships that were friendships but were definitely soulmates. There's so many different areas of soulmates, so many soulmates that we can have in this lifetime. So I feel like they were not, a lot of them were non-romantic. So you've had the support, but you incarnated, particularly pal 3ers, with a soul family, and those are the people that are going to support your creativity, which is really divinely guided. Again, your guides are saying divinely guided without a doubt. And they are coming in and around you. Now, some of them might come initially as a teacher or somebody who's going to give you some guidance, but you will quickly see them as, so you might be able to gather wisdom from them initially, but you will quickly see them as part of your soul family and the incarnation of your soul creative family, I should say. But they are coming in and around you, and I feel like the opportunities that you have when you start working in a community with these people will give you the rebirth that you have been seeking. You have a very romantic or soft, wonderful feeling about you, that you have a very tender heart, the ability to make anything more beautiful. Your word is beauty. You really do want to make everything more beautiful. I can see you going into a house and decorating it, and you bring that absolute beauty with you. I think sometimes you may hide that because in the past, my guides are telling me, or your guides are telling me, that you have not seen that as a weakness, but you've seen it as a trait to protect. But there's many reasons why coming into your soul family in the creative realm, so you can work with them, you will get the kind of support that you've never really experienced, and this will give you the confidence to go forward and put out your work in a way that you've never done before. So don't be surprised if these wonderful people start coming in and around you, and then your work that's already been completed starts taking off with, in essence, very little effort, it seems, on your part. But you coming into this aspect of your life, you were supposed to come into this part of your life. This part of your life is very specific. This was a part of your life where you were supposed to take off and become the person that you are and shine in this light. I actually see you as a lighthouse of truth in this lifetime. And you will bring that truth in many different creative forms. Again, I feel like you've known this. There has been that little seed inside of you. You've known this. But some of you are stamping your foot. When? Again, temperance. You had to find that balance within. You had to find that your soul family to come into. You also needed to learn how to be within a group and to shine within a group as well as shining individually. And also, some of you also came into this world to heal the feminine aspect of self. So I feel a lot of you have I'm trying to get some names for you, but a lot of you actually have some very masculine guides around you, because I feel as though you've called on them or you've attracted them because you've had a very masculine sense of self, and you've moved forward in many significant ways by using the masculine sense of self. But you've recently, you have been working on balancing the feminine and the masculine, but the feminine sense of self, which is why the creation, it's all coming together now. The feminine sense of self you have been working on in such a way that you've been releasing your past and you've been healing the wounds of the feminine, which also date back to many different past lives, by the way. So your power was denied in many different past lives. So you've been healing the feminine, and that's why the creativity, you've used the masculine sense of self to get the creation perhaps done or completed, but then it's fallen short to integrate into the world and take off and to reach as many people as it could. Or you've used the masculine sense of self to go ahead and push through and start many different projects, but you've not been able to complete them. But your feminine sense of self is rewarding itself now by moving outside of the ego, like we had with the runestone here, and integrating woundless and integrating now. So what you'll be doing is integrating the masculine and the feminine in such a way that your creative projects will take off in this really incredible and beautiful light, and will be supported by your soul family that's coming in. And they were here to help. You were here to help support each other. You decided to come down together. You decided to help support each other. A lot of you will be working on very similar aspects of projects, but bringing in your own divine beauty to each one of them. So in many ways, on the surface, they may look as though a lot of your projects are very similar, but actually when you get down to it, they will be completely different. And I see you sort of weaving this blanket of friendship and beauty where creation meets connection. And that's the energy that you're going to be putting out into this world. So here's what I'm getting, which is really funny. I always like to get some more information, some specific information about the guides that are around you. And I keep getting masculine guides, very specific masculine guides. I am getting Ganesh, and that's a guy that will stay with you. But the reason why they're not stepping forward and telling me who they are is because you're about to move on to a whole new set of guides, because you are moving out of one way of being and moving into your own creativity in your own way. So that is absolutely beautiful. So these guides are coming in today to give you these messages, but they're stepping aside. They'll always be there for you, but they're stepping aside and allowing in these new guides. So this is absolutely wonderful. Working beyond the ego, working in this new way of physically creating in this world. I'm just trying to think. Give me a second here while I have this book next to me. I want to see what we can do. So for the manifesting goals, I'm actually going to do let's see, increasing your creativity here. The Noza, I think that's how it said. Connecting with higher and lower self with the Reiki symbol, and healing communication. So the first one that I want to do, I want to send you some Reiki here. I've done it with everyone else. So, and then I'm going to do the power symbol. So we're going to send you that. So we're connecting your higher and lower self. We're in definitely supporting that creativity. So this symbol actually increases creativity, but I feel like you're already very creative. That was already said from the very beginning. So we're going to use this symbol very specifically, especially with the power symbol, to make sure that your creativity is destined for the right place. So we're going to move your creativity along. We're going to push your creativity out there. So that's what we're doing there. And I'm also going to send you a little bit of extra grounding. And it also, the symbol helps you manifest your goals. So you do have goals. This is a very creative reading. This is for you to manifest your creative goals and the support you're getting to be able to do that. And the fact that you're integrating the masculine and feminine in order to create a whole self and move forward in a completely different way, in a completely different light, and integrate all of your creativity into this world with ultimate success. And of course, we do have the birth and rebirth, which includes brand new spirit guides coming into you now. Some of you probably have an idea of who they are. So if you do, and you feel like you want to share, please feel free. I would love to hear from you. You're welcome to like the video. Go ahead and leave some comments. Let me know if any of this resonated. I'm going to put your end with this beautiful runestone. And yes, please do let me know in the comments below if anything resonated. And do look down below. We do have in the comment section, or the section below, any way that you can work with me one-on-one, or I do have healing sessions across the board, 3 or 4, which is very different to working with me if I'm just reading cards, deep healing. And you can also follow me on Instagram. Details are below, where we have Witchy Wednesday, and we have a lovely little group we have together, and for a little extra guidance and channeling messages. So feel free, if you feel inclined to, if you feel like if you're feeling called to, there's extra ways to work with me or be in and around my energy. So I want everybody to, and Pile 3 and everybody that's worked with us today, I want to thank all of the guides that have come in. I want to thank you for being here. Do take a deep, deep breath and just allow in that beautiful Reiki energy. I do hope that it sits with you well and that you're doing well today. Remember to love yourself. You're the only person in this world that's you. You're unique and beautiful. There's no one else like that, like you out there. So please remember that when you're being hard on yourself. So I'm sending love and light to you today. And until next time, I'm going to say bye-bye.